Tracker breaks cover, fog swallows the boots, a hand claws at mud then stillness. Guild notes, Nergigante's not hunting, it's gathering. The others arrive drawn to the feast. Most aggressive of the elders, most hungry, its jaws don't kill thee unravel. What do the caverns below hold where elders vanish, a balance not meant to be seen? Mud then ritual is done. The guild refuses to kill what it cannot understand. Nergigante's hunger is not chaos, it is calculus. Beneath its lair, something older than bone waits, fed by elders' essence to starve what killed Shrade. How many more must fall before the ledger balances? Each ritual buries a debt, a counterweight to Fatalis' legacy. To hunt Nergigante is to break the math, to let it feast is to accept the cost. What if the New World's peace is just a wound sutured with teeth? The guild's code ignores a truth etched in blood. Some sacrifices are not choices, they are requiems. And every elder's death whispers a hymn to the void beneath. What wakes when the last elder falls? Guild logs from the Fifth Fleet's New World incursion document a pattern. Nergigante's predation follows Zora Magdaro's migratory surges, not coincidence, not chaos, a recalibration. The old world's balance was linear predator and prey, season and decay. The new world's balance is a spiral. Each elder consumed is a thread tied into the void beneath Nergigante's lair. No altar, no ritual flame. Just hunger, methodical and ancient, stitching the ecosystem's fractures. The guild's earliest surveys noted this: where Nergigante feeds, ecological collapse halts, temporarily. The caverns under its roost are not a grave, they are a ledger. Every elder's death is an entry, a debt. The New World's biome cannot stabilize without this erasure, without this cycle. Why elders alone? Their essence holds the blueprint of their realm's order. Shatter that, and the void beneath breathes. The Fifth Fleet's records end abruptly at the first full moon when the caverns exhaled. What stirs there now as the elder count wanes? The guild's first log entries describe it as methodical, not a hunt, a rite. Nergigante does not kill, it dismantles. Claws tear through scales, rend sinew, crack bony, disassembly as precise as it is brutal. Other predators feed, this one archives. Scales are hoarded in jagged pyres. Bones are stacked in spires, glinting under the lair's sulfuric haze. Why, the records do not say. But the pattern is undeniable. Every elder dragon that crosses its path becomes a relic, not a meal. Zora Magdaro's passage destabilized ecosystems. Chains of volcanoes awoke, prey species vanished, yet Nergigante thrives, its hunger deepens. The guild speculates, what if this is not chaos? What if Nergigante's violence is a counterbalance, a force pruning the unchecked sprawl of the New World's rebirth? No other elder wields such power. No other exhibits such single-minded devotion. Beneath the lair, the caverns pulse, not with life, with absence. The Fifth Fleet's last report mentions a void sound echoing from below, a resonance that grows louder as elders disappear. What waits there? A cycle, a threshold. Or a debt paid in carapace and sinew. The guild's notes end abruptly. The hunters who followed them never returned. Only the ritual remains, unbroken. Unquestioned, the New World breathes, but its breath is measured in bones. Beneath its lair something pulses, not life, not death. A rhythm older than hunters' bones. Migration events are not chance, they are triggers. Sieges scripted by unseen hands, each invasion a thread in the same tapestry. The frenzy virus did not create Gore Magala's hunger, it revealed it. A predator reborn from collapse, stitching order into rot. Nergigante does the same. Its strikes are not chaos, they are corrections. Elder dragons fall not to weakness, but invitation. Each kill a glyph in the ledger. Gore Magala's old world reign ended when it devoured the diseased. Now Nergigante mirrors that purge. What it consumes is not flesh, but excess, imbalance, the New World's fever. The caverns beneath its roosten mapped unscoured are not tombs, they are vaults holding what ash, spores, the residue of previous resets. A pattern emerges, viruses, migrations. Apex predators turned executioners. The ecosystem's fail-safe, brutal in its logic. Gore Magala's rebirth after the frenzy, was it accident or echo? Nergigante's ritual is not original, it is inheritance. A role passed through eras, adapted to new continents, new threats. The question is not why it hunts elders. The question is war, what decided this role must be played. And what in the darkness below waits for its turn to be fed? Wyverian scribes etched warnings in ash beneath Nergigante's lair. Frontier logs cite tremors before each hunt. Writers' diaries speak of the Leviathan's hunger as a cycle, not chaos, truths. They wilds call it expedition's taxonomy. Wyverians, the guilds, called it a black dragon debt. They wilds call it expedition's taxonomy, found bones of elder dragons arranged in concentric rings, not kills, placement. A pattern older than the guild's maps, older than rider legends. Nergigante does not hunt, it harvests, each kill an offering, each feast a covenant. The caverns beneath are not voids, they are a ledger. The redacted Wyverian chronicles hint at something beneath the ledger, a presence, a listener. Not a god, a reckoning, the ritual sustains a balance unseen. The new world thrives on this hunger. What then does the hunger sustain? No expedition returned from the lowest trench. No rider describes the sound that follows each harvest, a resonance, a pulse. The guild fears what lies beneath their own footnotes. They call it a monster. The Wyverians called it a gatekeeper. Nergigante is not the end of the line. It is the first breath of a chain, and every elder dragon that falls becomes a link. What waits for its turn to be fed? The answer lies in the silence between heartbeats, in the dark where even fear refuses to name. The guild's records fracture here. Behavior deviates, specimens defy classification. Why does Nergigante strike only at elders? Why does its hunger peak when Xenogiva stirs? The data spirals, a paradox gnaws at the edges of every report. Elders vanish in patterns too precise for chaos. Their absence fuels the new world's fragile balance. The Shrade Kingdom's ash still whispers of Fatalis' reckoning, yet Nergigante's ritual precedes even that catastrophe. Does its feast sustain some cycle older than recorded time, deeper than the guild's understanding of ecology? Beneath its lair, the earth breathes. Caverns no hunter has mapped echo with a rhythm, a pulse synchronized to Xenogiva's emergence. What grows in that silence? What thrives on the blood of kings? The bestiary fails, language falters, the guild calls it a predator. But predators do not weep when their prey dies, nor carve symbols into bones that bloom after death. The question remains, is Nergigante the executioner or the keeper of a covenant the world forgot? The truth carves itself into the stone. Nergigante's hunger is not malice, it is a ledger. Every elder dragon consumed is a debt paid to the world's failing spine. When Zora Magdaros tore through strata, it did not merely migrate. It unmade, the new world's bones cracked. Xenogiva's birth was not a miracle. It was a counterstroke, a ripple in the same tide of collapse. Nergigante feeds the void where balance frays. Its jaws do not filthy transfer. Each elder slaying is a stitch in the fabric of unstable skies. Below its lair something breathes, not an altar, a wound, a chasm where the earth's pulse falters. What hunters call a lair is a throat. The guild ignores it because they cannot comprehend a sacrifice that demands no flame, no prayer, only flesh. The ritual is not bound to glyphs or incantations. It is arithmetic, a ratio of power and loss. The new world teeters. Nergigante is its anchor, not its executioner. Does the dragon choose this role, or is it thrall to a logic older than its fangs? The caverns hold no answers, only echoes of elders who knew when to kneel. The guild's maps omit the deepest chambers. But the numbers tell the tale. Each kill aligns with Xenogiva's rise. Each feast delays the collapse. The balance is not sacred, it is transactional. The final question is not who wields the knife. It is who will accept the ledger when the ink dries. The guild's code fractures on Nergigante's teeth. Hunters return from the lair with more than scarce. Their armor reeks of petriture and charred bone, a scent no forge can replicate. In the shadows of their tents, they whisper of a cavern where water glows like molten obsidian, its currents thick with the residue of ancient blood. Not magic, not divinity, a calculus older than the guild's founding, etched in the hollows where elders once ruled. A hunter once tracked a downed elder to the lair's threshold. He saw Nergigante not as a monster, but a reaper in scales, its jaws closing over the beast's throat with the precision of a lock snapping shut. The elder's death rattle echoed a dirge, not a scream. When the hunter fired, his arrow quivered in the air. Nergigante turned, not in anger, but recognition. He fled, but the weight of that gaze lingered, souring his breath, curdling his blood. The new world does not bend to the guild's morals. Here, balance is a ledger of lives, and Nergigante its scribe. Each elder it consumes is a debt paid to the ecosystem's silent clockwork. To hunt it is to strike a blade against the gears of a machine that does not care if you bleed. The guild's code was written for an old world that no longer exists. What good is regulation when the law of the land is written in fangs and famine? The hunter's duty is not to kill, but to witness and to ask if their knives are any less cruel than the creature's mandate. The caverns hum they have always hummed. The cavern's hum thickens, a subsonic dirge that gnaws at bone. Hunters' breath clouds in the cold, their lanterns guttering against the iron-rich stink of ancient blood. Beneath Nergigante's lair, the stone pulses not with life but with absence, a void that hungers. Migration events arrive like clockwork, sieges become ritual. Guild scribes cross out entire paragraphs in their logs, ink bleeding through paper as if the words themselves recoil. You've seen the sealed reports. Elder dragons vanish before harvest, their absence a wound in the ecosystem. The guild fears what thrives in that void. A hunter once lingered too long. He reported a sound choking, rhythmic, like a throat full of stars being swallowed. The guild silenced him. But the caverns keep humming, and every Elden hunt ends with a mouth full of ash. What do you hear when the ground trembles? Is it Nergigante's hunger or the world's sigh of relief? The cavern's hum thickens, a subsonic dirge that gnaws at bone. Hunters' breath clouds in the cold, their lanterns guttering against the iron-rich stink of ancient blood. Beneath Nergigante's lair, the stone pulses not with life but with absence, a void that hungers. Migration events arrive like clockwork, sieges become ritual. Guild scribes cross out entire paragraphs in their logs, ink bleeding through paper as if the words themselves recoil. You've seen the sealed reports. Elder dragons vanish before harvest, their absence a wound in the ecosystem. The guild fears what thrives in that void. A hunter once lingered too long. He reported a sound choking, rhythmic, like a throat full of stars being swallowed. The guild silenced him. But the caverns keep humming, and every Elden hunt ends with a mouth full of ash. What do you hear when the